In LA this week, David Ryu is officially sworn in, becoming the first Korean-American Los Angeles City Council member.
Can you believe this entire storage tank will go underneath this parking lot in the next year? I'm Anna Marcos, and we'll have more on the Broadway Stormwater Greenway project and how it'll provide cleaner water coming up.
The first phase of a massive water storage project complete. I'm Gil Reyes at the site of the Headworks Reservoir projects with an update on your water rates as well as the future of the very popular Silver Lake Reservoir.
Hello and welcome to LA This Week. Thanks for joining us. I'm Yana Kay. Our top story this week, a new council member has joined the city of LA thanks to a May runoff election in the hotly contested race for the District 4 council seat. David Ryu will now replace termed-out council member Tom LaBonge. Anna Marcos takes us to the inauguration.
This inauguration had a bit of an Asian American twist. And now a city leader. But for new council member David Ryu, helping his father down the steps of City Hall was the first order of the day, even on this most important day. Ryu grew emotional as he talked about his Korean immigrant grandmother, who sacrificed to bring her family here. Many of his own family from Korea arrived for the inauguration.
I would like to thank my hero, my inspiration, my grandmother, Christina Kyungjae-ju. Her story was my story, and it's your story. It's the Latino story. It's the Jewish American story. It's the Irish American story.
Ryu becomes the first Korean American to join the city council after winning the runoff to replace council member Tom LaBonge.
I, David Ryu, do solemnly swear.
I, David Ryu, do solemnly swear.
He is a Los Angeles original, the son of immigrants who learned about struggle and hard work, like so many Korean Americans and other immigrant societies who come here.
Ryu promises to run a city with smart development practices that are good for the community, and he believes in financial accountability.
I promise to find ways to cut waste so we can invest more in our infrastructure, streets, and sidewalks.
He's got the right values, the right attitude, the right spirit, the right know-how.
An air of celebration as everyone from residents to state and local leaders to city council members helped welcome their newest and youngest council member. I'm Anna Marcos for LA This Week.
Ryu served as senior deputy to County Supervisor Yvonne Burke for many years, working on public health, housing, and child and family services. He also served as a special investigator for the Auditor Controller to help cut down on waste and fraudulent spending. A historical legal victory for same-sex couples across the country as the nation's top court solidifies their right to marry in all 50 states. Rasha Goel has reaction from city leaders on this unprecedented decision.
In a long-sought victory for the gay rights movement, the Supreme Court ruled by a 5-4 vote that the Constitution guarantees a right to same-sex marriage, legalizing gay marriage in all 50 states. The city of LA shared its support.
And we need to take this victory and parlay it into progress across civil rights issues to make sure that the hatred and discrimination that we still see based on people's sexual orientation, based on the color of their skin, and their religion has no place in America.
What an incredible day this is. It's not just a victory for equality. It's not just a victory for gay and lesbian couples. It's a victory for families. It's a victory for children. It's a victory for all of us.
Shane Goldsmith, who married her same-sex partner in 2008, was overjoyed at the news.
And 4 months after our legal marriage by the mayor, we were in legal limbo again when Prop 8 passed. So it's hard to express how good it feels to finally stand on legal ground.
Councilmember Mike Bonin and his husband were on hand to share their joy, reflecting how this road was paved from the past.
The AIDS crisis forced a generation of gay men and their lesbian sisters to burst open their closet doors and share their stories. Many of them didn't have a choice. And as we celebrate this victory today, I want to remember that their bursting open their closet doors were foundational to where we got to be today.
And LA City Attorney Mike Feuer touched upon how this unprecedented move helps open the door for the future.
Children today who may be struggling as they are growing up with their sexual orientation can look on today and say, I can struggle privately, but publicly, there is a recognition of the dignity that I possess.
A dignity that many can now proudly possess. I'm Rasha Goel for LA This Week.
The U.S. Supreme Court's landmark ruling legalizing same-sex marriage nationwide drew early support from a unique group of city staffers, gays and lesbians within the LA City Attorney's Office. Gil Reyes reports from City Hall.
You may both kiss the bride.
Leading up to the vote, many local same-sex couples worried, specifically those who eventually planned to move out of state. Their marriages were not recognized in other parts of the country.
The lunacy of having this kind of a patchwork, it really made it clear we can't run a country like that.
Concerns raised by the LGBTQ City Attorneys Association. Gay and lesbian members within the LA City Attorney's Office discussed the dilemma of relocating to Tennessee, Ohio, and other states where gay marriage was still banned up until the vote. The meeting, hosted by LA City Attorney Mike Feuer, took place weeks before the High Court's ultimate decision.
That will set the course for the nation as to whether there will be the right in every jurisdiction in our country for people to marry whom they love.
The U.S. Supreme Court eventually ruled 5-4 to legalize same-sex marriages in all 50 states, a blessing for local couples planning to move for job opportunities, to care for aging parents, or other reasons. Deputy City Attorney Lisa Berger said gay spouses with stepchildren could have had the rights as parents revoked in some areas.
In an emergency, they have no right to determine what medical care that child is going to get. They may not be allowed to pick their kid up at school because they have no legal relationship.
Spousal and death benefits might have also been disputed. The LA City Attorney's Office says it sent a brief urging the High Court to uphold the rights of gays and lesbians to marry. On June 26th, their wish was granted. Gil Reyes for LA This Week.
That brief was supported by the National League of Cities and the U.S. Conference of Mayors. Well, a stormwater recapture pilot project is about to make part of South LA a greener and healthier place to live. Anna Marcos has more on the Broadway Neighborhood Stormwater Greenway project. Anna.
Yana, this project will beautify the neighborhood and provide cleaner water for all of LA for generations to come.
2, 1,
A section of Broadway in South LA will soon be transformed from urban car thoroughfare to green oasis, capturing stormwater and putting it back into the aquifer.
We want to make sure that the generations behind us will be able to thrive and flourish in a healthy environment.
The Broadway Neighborhood Stormwater Greenway project will help residents, the neighborhood, and the entire region. 19 homes will get rain gardens and infiltration systems to collect rainwater. Local streets will get dry wells and bioswales to catch water flowing down the street. And a huge underground tank on the parking lot of the Paradise Baptist Church will store the water as it slowly percolates back into the ground.
What we're trying to do is reduce the amount of water that goes to the Los Angeles River. And that has two benefits. One, it reduces flooding. And two, it cleans up the water and we infiltrate it back into the ground.
420,000 gallons? You know, if we use an 80 gallon per capita per day, that's enough to supply 20 people for a whole year.
For Councilmember Curran Price, this is just one of many projects needed to help clean and green his neighborhood.
And this is going to kick off a revitalization that we're going to be doing in this area, working with the businesses, creating better facades, keeping the streets clean, making the commercial corridor as green as possible.
The project should come online sometime early next year. Yana?
Anna, thanks. Money for the project will come from Proposition 84, a stormwater grant program. Well, you'll likely see it on the 134 freeway near Griffith Park, a massive water storage facility that promises to deliver cleaner water because that water is covered. As Gil Reyes tells us, some of it is already being delivered.
Clean drinking water now flows into some parts of downtown and central LA, straight from this new 55 million gallon underground water tank. It's part of the Headworks Reservoir project.
In life, there's two things you need, water and relationships. And in this particular project, which is a water reservoir, the relationships that the Department of Water and Power has nurtured here in Griffith Park is going to create a great new addition to the park, but most importantly, provide quality water.
This is actually the first of two covered reservoir projects to be built adjacent to the 5 and 134 freeways, which are about 300 yards that way. Part of the goal is to replace the Ivanhoe and Silver Lake reservoirs as water storage facilities.
We had to take those reservoirs offline to meet new water quality standards, and we moved the project here to the north end of Griffith Park, where we had property available, and we were able to build this at this location without some significant impacts to the community and delays that we would have if we built in such a confined and dense area such as Silver Lake.
However, Silver Lake Reservoir is undergoing changes. This summer, water will be drained to add a new pipeline for the new water delivery system. For those who love this view, don't worry, the water will return in about a year, but solely for aesthetics, as open-air storage for drinking water has been banned by the state, citing the health risks. Back in Griffith Park, construction will soon begin on a second 55 million gallon covered water tank west of the original one. Are ratepayer rates expected to go up from these projects?
The rates that we have in place are already paying for these projects. So there's talk about future rate increases and things we would need. That's to do more additional work in the future, but the work that's here right now is already included in our budget.
With plans to build park space above ground, improving recreational options and water quality. In Griffith Park, Gil Reyes for LA This Week.
The entire Headworks project is expected to be completed in about 2 years. Well, LADWP officials are also hoping a planned water tank in Griffith Park will make a big splash in their efforts to conserve. They say the tank will help irrigate the popular Roosevelt Golf Course with treated sewage water. We turn once again to Gil Reyes.
From our toilets to the tea. Helping to keep these greens green is treated wastewater, and officials say more of it is on the way to irrigate Griffith Park and one of its golf courses.
All water is reclaimed, but reclaimed water is our future right now, especially in the drought. And the work that's doing here, the staff that has been put together is very, very special. Tom, get on the other side of me.
Termed out council member Tom LaBonge digs deep for one of his final duties as councilman, breaking ground on a big water tank project in the hills of Griffith Park. Officials say the tank will collect treated sewage water and distribute it to the south end of the park. The water, treated at a nearby reclamation plant, originally comes from flushed toilets in the city of LA and Glendale. The system, called the Griffith Park South Water Recycling Project. Water will then be diverted here to the popular Roosevelt Golf Course to irrigate these grounds. Water will also be diverted to a nearby nursery. Altogether, that's 120 million gallons of recycled water for irrigation purposes just from that new tank. And just for the first year. DWP and park officials say they plan to add more areas to the irrigation system once it's built.
It's less water we have to import into the city, and it's less water we have to purchase. And it's water that's been a great and reliable resource, and it's also drought-proof because it's available year in and year out.
DWP officials say 76% of the acreage in city-owned golf courses is irrigated with recycled water. The goal is 85% within 2 years, making good use of a precious resource before money and water go down the drain. In Griffith Park, Gil Reyes for LA This Week.
Officials hope to complete the project in 2017. Well, a fireworks extravaganza for the community of Eagle Rock kicked off the 4th of July holiday with a bang. Here's Anna Marcos with more on the event and what the holiday meant to some of our city leaders.
This 4th of July event got both the little girls and the big girls dancing. Or maybe it was the Elvis impersonators.
We do this every year, and it's really, really fun event, and it just brings all of us from the community together, and it's so fun.
But the big draw at the annual Eagle Rock 4th of July concert and fireworks show was the fireworks.
Yeah, we're gonna go find a place to sit and just relax and wait for the fireworks.
And let's not forget, when we see the fireworks, it's not only about entertainment, but it's about celebrating the birth of this great country, the US of A.
The sparkly light show is great, but for Councilmember Jose Huizar, the 4th of July goes deeper. We thought we'd ask some other council members what our Independence Day means to them.
It brings back childhood memories of just celebrating the 4th of July and the founding of this country.
It's also really a time for me personally to reflect on the promise of America and how much we have achieved and how much we still have left to achieve.
They may be the spectacle everyone comes to see, but they also provide plenty to reflect on about our country's journey. I'm Anna Marcos for LA This Week.
Other celebrations in Los Angeles highlighted LGBT Heritage Month as the Hollywood Museum premiered a new exhibit in partnership with Mitch O'Farrell. Rich Samuels has more.
Reel to Reel, Portrayals and Perceptions of Gays in Hollywood takes a look at how gays have been portrayed in Hollywood from early stereotypes to modern representations. Councilman Mitch O'Farrell remembers the dark and negative portrayals in movies, from The Children's Hour to Diamonds Are Forever, where gay characters met horrible deaths.
And here I am, a child, seeing these movies thinking, okay, I'm doomed. I am doomed. I don't know what's going to happen in my life because I knew I was gay then, but there were no role models.
This is the second year that the museum has hosted the Reel to Reel exhibit. And this year it's vastly expanded, reflecting a belief in O'Farrell's words that society has moved on.
It's just busted wide open, and there is freedom of expression and freedom to reach one's potential and full happiness, and that is the new norm across societies.
Until everybody feels safe, everybody, no matter whether they're gay or lesbian or transgender, that they feel safe, that they feel welcome, then we can rest, but not until then.
From the Hollywood Museum at the Max Factor building in Hollywood, this is Rich Samuels for LA This Week.
The exhibit runs through July 20th. Well, a new program at the El Nido Community Center in Pacoima is getting back to basics by planting seeds that officials hope will blossom into future success. These kids are slicing and dicing, learning valuable kitchen skills that they will use throughout their lives.
We want to become something big, like let's say we want to become chefs. We can do it because we already have the experience. We're learning the experience as well.
It's all part of El Nido's newest community garden and kitchen program, where kids learn to use local and fresh ingredients to cook delicious and healthy meals. The owners of Hugo's restaurant helped give them some cooking tips and said it's a great way to introduce kids to the joy of cooking.
We're just trying to make it fun for them to learn, to want to learn, to be curious, and you can certainly do that in a garden.
The fresh ingredients were cultivated and grown from the center's new garden, which features a variety of fruits and vegetables. Councilmember Felipe Fuentes said the new program at El Nido, which is celebrating its 90th year of providing services to at-risk youth, is just one example of what the center is doing to make a difference in the community.
They do that by counseling, they do that with intervention, they do it with the parents, and they do it in very productive and creative ways. And today is just one example of how they're doing that.
It changed my life drastically. I was able to experience a lot of help from people that I didn't even know, and they were always there for me.
El Nido officials said they also plan to open a commercial kitchen and eventually a community cafe that will bring healthy foods from their garden to the table.
It's about job training, it's about bringing healthy foods to the community, it's about getting on our youth on a positive path for self-sufficiency and a positive transition to adulthood.
And by the looks of things, these kids are not only learning how to prepare healthy meals, but they're also creating recipes for success. Earlier in the program, we showed you Councilmember Jose Huizar's 4th of July celebrations, and the event not only lit up the skies, but social media as well. Here's more from the festivities in This Week in Tweets. One attendee at Handel Steps to Heaven posted a video of the spectacular fireworks show, tweeting, "What a great event today. Thank you, Jose Huizar. It was nice meeting you and loved the fireworks." Huizar later retweeted an awesome shot of the fireworks posted by Fig for All, who posted, "What a show! Thank you, Jose Huizar. Great ride." Randy Levine posted 2 incredible photos of the glittering night sky, tweeting, "Eagle Rock fireworks, thanks Jose Huizar," and "Eagle Rock fireworks finale, thank you." Herb West posted some candid photos of the councilman talking to community members and passing out American flags. "Thanks for making it possible," he tweeted. And that's a look at This Week in Tweets. A community member who helped develop North Hollywood gets a special honor. A new warm water pool opens up in West Hills, and some LAPD cadets can now get a real workout. All these stories and more in City Beat. City Council member Paul Krikorian dedicated the corner of Lankershim Boulevard and Weddington Street in North Hollywood as Guy Weddington McCreary Square in honor of Weddington McCreary's contributions to the San Fernando Valley. McCreary was a descendant of one of the first families who settled and developed North Hollywood. His widow Diane joined former Councilman Tom LaBonge and Krikorian at the ceremony. Weddington McCreary died last year at age 77 after a long bout with cancer. The Memorial Square will include signs on the traffic signals next to the historic El Portal Theater and the Art Institute. Councilmember Mitchell Englander recently joined LA County Supervisor Michael Antonovich, former Councilmember Greg Smith, the North Valley Village YMCA, Kaiser Permanente, and community leaders for the grand opening of the North Valley Family YMCA's new warm water pool. In partnership with Kaiser Permanente, officials say the new North Valley Family YMCA warm water pool will give thousands of children, parents, and seniors the opportunity to take classes and stay active and healthy. Local fast food workers held a rally recently inside a Pico Union McDonald's in support of workers in New York who are demanding a minimum wage increase to $15 per hour. The rally coincided with the New York City Wage Board hearing where hundreds of fast food cooks and cashiers made their case for raising the minimum wage. The board is set to recommend in July a bump in the $8.75 current minimum wage. The only question is by how much. Los Angeles police officers in the Rampart Division recently surprised 65 cadets with a new gym. With the help of donations from community members and local businesses, officers were able to build the gym inside the station's parking garage. Cadets can use the gym Monday through Saturday, and it comes complete with pull-up bars, adjustable rings for bench pressing, punching bags, and row machines.
This new gym is amazing, something that we've been truly waiting for a long time.
It's a community collaborative effort to make sure that these kids now have a place to come, is like they can call a sanctuary, where they can stay off the streets and come here to our police station, into our parking structure where they can hang out, get healthy, get fit, both body and mind.
Jaguars are on the prowl at the LA Zoo. Gil Reyes shows us these feisty felines up close.
The latest exhibit at the LA Zoo makes room for the largest felines native to the Americas.
They have black spots and they're orange.
Do you like them?
Yeah.
Yes, jaguars. 3 of them have prowled their way to their new lair. It's part of the larger Rainforest of the Americas exhibit, which opened last year. 14-year-old Koloa, an old zoo favorite, has moved in. So does a new breeding pair.
A 4-year-old female named Johar, and we have a 7-year-old male named Stewie, and we're hoping for some breeding in the near future. They have this beautiful large exhibit here where they can roam around, they could climb trees, they could go swimming in our big pond, and they just have a lot of space to move around and have a real comfortable, happy life here at the zoo.
Don't scratch your head over it. Slink on over as soon as you can to see these powerful, prowling predators up close. At the LA Zoo, Gil Reyes for LA This Week.
The opening of the Jaguar exhibit ends a 15-year construction project at the zoo. The renovations paid for by voter-approved bonds. Well, the Beatles come alive, a musical perfect for the whole family, and rare photos from some rock legends. All this in this week's Things to Do. The Fab Four is elevated far above every other Beatles tribute due to their precise attention to detail. With uncanny, note-for-note live renditions of Beatles songs, the Fab Four will make you think you're watching the real thing on Saturday, July 11th. This incredible stage show includes 3 costume changes, representing every area of the Beatles' ever-changing career. This loving tribute to the Beatles has amazed audiences around the world. The concert begins at 6:30 p.m. and takes place at the Starlight Bowl, located at 1249 Lockheed View Drive in Burbank. For tickets and more information, visit starlightbowl.com. On Sunday, July 12th, don't miss your last chance to see Matilda the musical at the Amundsen Theater. The winner of 50 international awards, including 4 Tony Awards, Matilda the musical is the story of an extraordinary girl who, armed with a vivid imagination and a sharp mind, dares to take a stand and change her own destiny. Based on the beloved novel by Roald Dahl, Matilda continues to thrill sold-out audiences of all ages on Broadway and in London's West End. The Wall Street Journal says the makers of Matilda have done the impossible triumphantly. It is smart, sweet, zany, and stupendous fun. The performance takes place at the Music Center's Amundsen Theater at 135 North Grand Avenue. For tickets, visit centertheatergroup.org. The Los Angeles Public Library presents a glimpse into a decade that produced scores of hit singles with its exhibit From Pop to the Pit. The library's photo collection and catalog celebrates the Los Angeles music scene from 1978 to 1989 and relives an extraordinary time in music history with rarely seen images of the bands that helped define the era. The exhibit offers rare images from the Herald Examiner archive and the Gary Leonard collection, including vintage portraits of Motley Crue, the Bangles, Eazy-E, and all the rest of your favorites. The exhibit is on display until July 26th. The Central Library is located at 630 West 5th Street. For more information, visit lapl.org. And that's a look at some things to do. Well, that's going to do it for this edition. I'm Yana Kane. From all of us here at LA This Week, thanks for joining us. A reminder that you can catch us online at lacitybeview.org. You can also follow and like us on Facebook. We'll see you back here next week for more of LA This Week.